Started. All right. Well, happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday Talk, February 28th. I wanted to go ahead and let Chris, our president, have a couple announcements, and then we can get started.
Well, thank you, Lindsay. Last day of February, March 1st tomorrow. Wow, already. Who can believe it? And only 2 weeks away from daylight savings time.
Yay.
We'll have to keep you updated on that. First of all, excuse me. First of all, we have Robin with a FLYCRA announcement.
Good morning, everybody. You're hearing from me because Mike Murphy, who's our president, is otherwise occupied on Tuesday morning, so he's asked me to stand in for him. And to remind you to mark your calendars, first of all, for Wednesday, March 29th. What confuses me is that February and March have the exact same number of days, and it's just, I'm having some kind of problem that I don't understand tracking on that.
March is going to have.
They have the first 28 in common, and then all of a sudden something like the 29th is going to happen. Anyway, bottom line, please mark your calendars for 1 o'clock on that date. We look forward to seeing you. It's going to be an interesting meeting, especially for the folks who have not been at Regency Oaks for a very long time, because between the pandemic and a delayed meeting and so forth, we haven't had a good annual meeting for a while. So I encourage you to be there. We have an election of officers that will be taking place. More information to follow on that. We have 3 good candidates, and if there are other people who are interested, we look forward to hearing from them. Talk to one of the members of the board, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.
March 29th at what time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, South Grand Lobby. Please mark that on your calendar. That'll be important. Last week, Lindsay talked about extraordinary impressions. Time to fill out the card. They're easy to get there, mostly by the the mailboxes. So if you have someone who does something extra, or if there's someone who does a good job consistently, fill out the card and say that's a good thing that they did. So,
They should be in the dining room as well.
yes, it's not just the dining room, it's housekeeping, but there's also dining cards too, so please fill them out. That's how they elect the Employee of the Month. I think everybody knows that Chuck is the one who got the Employee of the Month this month. So, Chuck. I don't know his last name. He's in dining. I'm going to say he's a young guy.
It was Cindy.
He's very
What's his-
personable.
Yeah, in the last all staff we had Cindy. Cindy, the housekeeper.
Just got the recent one? Mm-hmm. Cindy in housekeeping just got the most recent one too.
Yes.
So please fill them out. That's the way they get recognized. And I guess there's some rewards, trips and gadgets and gadgets.
Yes, so the Extraordinary Rewards program is actually really fantastic. If any of you have fantastic credit cards with the points, it is the exact situation. LCS has rolled that out, and there's a website, it's Extraordinary Impressions, and we get points based on those type of feedback, and on our anniversaries, our birthdays, or any major accolades. And we're able to go on that website and purchase trips, gifts, lots of fun stuff. There's anything from perfume to clothes to kitchenware and to experiences. If you have a certain amount of points, you can get trips and things like that. Of course, much like your rewards, it is a lot of points. But nonetheless, it is really exciting. My team and I, at my previous community, when we got Community of the Year, we were granted a lump sum of points for getting the Summit Award. And so I've been looking forward to going shopping with those. So it's a lot of fun, and it really is a fantastic website that you can get a lot of really great things with those points. And it does all come from that recognition.
Don't forget the people behind the scenes too. Like the cooks, like Lucy in the pub. Does a fantastic breakfast. Come down and have a breakfast. It's really good.
Makes the best omelet.
Makes the best omelet.
That's all.
Put that on a card, Miss Bobby.
It's all yours.
All right. Okay, well, we'll get started. I just have a couple announcements, as I've kind of mentioned before. These meetings probably won't be as long. We don't have as much going on with a lot of these projects. Thank goodness they are nearing to an end. A very long end, but nonetheless an end. So just a couple of things. Like I mentioned, Betsy is getting her CPR and AED training with some of our other first responders team. So Betsy and Ginger are both in some different courses today. So you have myself and Samantha. We got this, right, Sam?
Yes, of course.
So we had our executive board update from Mr. Chris. Just a couple of things from IHS. They wanted us to let you know that they are doing the cookie table in case you missed that on the way in. They are having cookies. They're given out, freshly baked, and they're doing that from about 10 to 11 today. Also, Christine wanted me to mention that we are holding an estate sale in M407 on Thursday from 9 to 12:30. So any of you who love estate sales, like myself, I will try to get away around that time, but it's an M407 from 9 to 12:30. So just wanted to mention that on their behalf. Just a quick update from the resident services. As we mentioned, they are having their CPR and AED training classes today, and the second class is next week. And this is for the first responders of our community. More great news, 0 COVID updates, so let's all keep it up. We don't have any concerns or current COVID cases, so we're really happy about that, and we want to keep it that way. Of course, with the warmer weather, we think we'll have a little bit better luck, but nonetheless, we want to keep making sure we maintain our precautions and are astute and paying attention to that. In regards to housekeeping updates, I want to make sure if we have not been using these, that we will be purchasing and utilizing these, but service cards for when our housekeeping and our maintenance are in your homes. So I've been told that we have used them, but it's maybe not consistent. So I'm going to make sure that we purchase more. That way we can make this a little bit more consistent. That way you know when our team is in your home, when they've serviced your home, and you can give any feedback on those as well. So as soon as I find out where we purchase those from, we will be purchasing those. That way we can leave them in your home to let you know we were there. And you can always turn those in with any comments or additional feedback. But that is something we would like to implement consistently. Just a little bit of updates from our Rusty and Rosie. They have covered 165,191 square foot of coverage. They have 45 hours and 42 minutes of autonomous runtime. They have done 84 runs. And Evan wanted me to let everyone know we are deep cleaning the pool room this week and also the pub this week. Just a little bit of updates from Sherry and her team and Vicki. Vicki has done a great job. She's been working with a lot of you for ACH. That's automatic draft. At my last community, we were about 99% with ACH, and it was very, very beneficial for the residents and the associates in the process. It saves your time, it saves the team's time, and possible accounting errors. Right now, the current process is you drop your check off at the front desk logs it, Vicki picks it up, she posts it to your account, then she creates the deposit, then Betsy scans the deposit. So there's like a whole other accounting guidelines and processes that go with this. If you have ACH, it is much more efficient and effective for all parties involved. So just a note that Vicki actually sent out. Basically, she says you'll receive a copy of your monthly statement every month as usual. It doesn't go away just because you've opted to utilize ACH. With your ACH service, you can sign up to have your payments automatically deducted from your account and paid each month. On the form, you have the option to choose whether it's from your checking or your savings, and you can choose 1 or the 5th, the 1st or the 5th of the month. All you need to do is provide a check with void written on it. Again, it saves you time from having to write out a check and contact your bank to send us a check. We will automatically receive the funds from your bank, and the funds are automatically applied to your account. It is more secure, and no more having to drop off your check at the front desk and that whole process I kind of just mentioned. So if you would like to sign up, we can most certainly give you that ACH form. They have it at the finance department, and we can leave it at the front desk. It is 100% not mandatory, but we do highly encourage it for everyone's convenience. Just a little bit on construction, not a whole lot of progress. We have obtained the temporary certificate of occupancy for the beauty shop and fitness center. We will officially be opening it once we obtain the final networking and the equipment training. We are still waiting on getting Fitness Smith out here and the company that manages the VR capsule and the hydro massage. So as soon as we can get them out there, we can get the appropriate training and get those areas going. Telecommunications in the town hall, aside from the fire panel issue, is still in progress. We are getting the AV company and LCS development out to finalize the telecommunications in the town hall. That's the projector, that's the remotes, the speakers, the sound. There's a lot of technology that's in that hall that they are still addressing. Just another follow-up from last week. The chief fire inspector came out. It was not the fire marshal, as we had hoped. It was two inspectors, one younger one and one that was retiring that day. Lucky for us. So, nonetheless, he said that the fire marshal would be getting back with us on Monday. That was yesterday. That did not happen. We did follow up, but we have not heard back from the actual fire marshal as far as whether we have our permanent occupancy or what that's going to look like for the town hall. So we met with Schaefer Construction, Piper Fire Systems, and LCS Development. You've probably seen our beautiful holes in the breezeways. They have now started cutting out in order to implement the fire system that is required and the sprinkler system that is required in the breezeways. So a little bit of progress on that, but we were hoping to at least get access to the town hall in the event we needed it in order we can implement a fire watch, which is basically hosting in there and having a staff member complete fire watch. But as of now, they have not even given us that option, and that was an option we were waiting on potentially from the fire marshal. So we're going to continue following up with them, but that is the most recent for that. Not great news, but again, it's what's going on. Just a little bit of follow-up. I know we had a lot of conversations about the work order process last Tuesday talk, and I was appreciative of the feedback that we did receive. Obviously, you all know I have not been here very long, so I don't know what we used to do or what we're not doing any longer, but we did re-implement. I know you mentioned that it was an associate named Penelope that used to do this process, but we actually have John Carla now, and she is Darwin's plant operations coordinator, and we have re-implemented that work order follow-up process. So she is able to pull those work orders from the system, and she is able to see what's outstanding. And I have spoken with her about following up with you and what that process should look like, and then turning that report in weekly. So again, it's not going to be perfect, but this is our commitment to improvement to make sure we can get your issues addressed. And thank you again for letting me know about that. Oops, excuse me. Right, back to the Google reviews. I've seen a few of you. I get an alert every time you go on our Google page and you leave a review, so thank you for that to everyone who's participated and went online to give us that feedback. We appreciate it. We're not winning yet. Another community is beating us, but we are having good movement. So it is actually live on our Regency Oaks app now. And Daniela has created a multi-page step-by-step instructions on how you can do that review. And we can either call her at her extension at 389, but I'm going to ask her to put out, it's 9 pages and I don't want to print out 9 pages for over 300 residents. So if you are not able to utilize it from the app, we will leave some printed pages at the front desk for you. And we'll start off with say 50, and if there needs to be more, we can most certainly print out more. But it should be live on the Regency Oaks app, and right here is where you should be able to find it. So it would say Google review, and then you would just check that, and that enables you to go through that process. If for whatever reason, again, you don't use the app, we'll leave some printed copies at the front until we need more. That way we maintain our beautiful trees that give us allergies. Just a couple updates. Ginger said the dance night Wednesday, March 1st has been canceled, but she is doing vocal cords at 1 p.m. here in the Grand Lobby South. Yay. Bella Rowe, Ricky said, is the 13th, 20th, and 27th. He was so gracious as to deliver me 2 freshly made pizzas last night when I am trying to lose weight around here. It's not happening. And Gourmet is on the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Of course, this isn't everything, but just some main highlights. Just a couple project updates. Just a reminder, we have posted additional signage. I think a couple people were confused about the location of the salon. This is still temporary until we can get her in the new and beautiful beauty shop, but it is in S203 in the north building. So please do keep note of that in the event you're looking. It is S203. Another update in regards to the north building, the blue team is working on the 4th floor, in the M wing, and then blue team will be starting on the S wing later this week. And then as I mentioned last Tuesday, big focus this week, we are finalizing all of the associates' annual evaluations. We are finalizing all of the associates' goals that are input into our HR system. And I have an ownership visit this Friday. We have an ownership visit this Friday. So Health Peak, Patrick Chang and Ray will be here with my boss, Sherry Robinson, Jill Sorensen, her boss, and a lot of our regional team. They want to tour the community. They'll be here right around 9 o'clock. They would like to tour our community, obviously see the progress with the fire, and obviously see the progress with the town hall and the salon and the beauty shop. So we will do about an hour and a half tour. There's some open units that they want to see as well. And then of course I will be meeting with them to give them an high level overall operational capacity of Regency Oaks, because I know so much so far. So obviously I'm spending a lot of time this week getting to know what I'm talking about, right? So really they'll be here for a couple hours, but they really just obviously want to stop by and check on all of our communities. So we're one of the many visits that they're doing, so we are all kind of gearing up for that. So other than that, I don't have anything else for you guys thus far. Is there any questions, any additional feedback, any items you want me to cover? Chris is coming your way. Oh, let me put this, I'm gonna put this down if that's okay now, so I can write.
Lindsay, I just want to know, can we meet these people when they come in as let's say as a meeting? I'd like to meet them because I don't know who they are. I know the name, but I don't know them in person.
We
And I-
wouldn't be able to this time, like I mentioned, they are flying in from town and they are on a strict schedule. They are going to numerous communities per day, but they do set up times that they would come out and offer that option. So once I can get that, we can potentially make that happen.
Thank
But
you.
this week it would not.
We used to have someone came in and did some safety checks on mobility devices, tuned up the scooters, adjusted walkers, etc. It's been a while since anyone has come out. And I think it's time that we find somebody to tune us up a little.
Was that someone from our team or an outside company?
It was an outsider.
Okay. Let me look into that for you.
Could we have a paper shredder? Yeah, a visit from the paper shredder. I don't need you to buy one.
We have plenty. Actually, I am familiar. I did that at my previous community as well. That was something that programming set up usually once or twice a year. Samantha, do you have feedback on that?
I know we used to do something like that before, but yeah, I can look
Okay.
into that to make that happen.
Yeah, Samantha and Ginger can follow up on that. It might have subsided during COVID, but we can most certainly work on setting that up. Usually, was it around summertime they would come out?
We had it right after taxes last
Okay,
year.
right after taxes.
Actually, Betsy said that it was probably gonna be in late April, because I gave her 2 boxes of things that Chris and I cleaned out of that storage
Okay.
building, and she said something about late April.
I'll follow up with either Betsy or Ginger and we'll get some information out for you.
Yeah, Betsy set it all up.
Lindsay, could you also investigate getting an ATM here?
No, they tried and it didn't pass.
Oh. I'm being told no.
I think you can buy them. You know, you don't have to go through a bank, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that simple. I do know we used to have a bank here. I don't know the details as to what happened to it, but I can check for you. Okay.
Non-profitable.
I think she's just looking for a way to get cash, basically. Simple banking.
Sam, do you know if Betsy is able to do that? I know that she
About the ATM or
cash.
I am not sure.
Okay. I'll try to get an answer for you, Ms. Gill.
Will the security staff be required to take the AAD training
Yes, they are some of the staff that are in the training.
so that they were required to respond to a deed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we don't conveniently have our heart attacks 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Understood. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that I recall you and I discussed that. And yes, some of our first responders, which are also security, are in that training. Absolutely.
Has looping been provided in the new town hall for those of hard of hearing?
Yes.
Yes, when we get there, we still have a lot of the telecommunications that are not fully operational. Ms. Bobby, do you have feedback on that?
Not on that.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to, on the Regency Oaks app, which I find very helpful for lots of things, if you go to it and you do not see the Google review label, you need to delete the app and reinstall it. Every time they make a major change, add something like that, that's the procedure you have to do to make sure that it comes up on there.
Okay.
All you have to do is refresh it.
Well, I tried that and it didn't work.
It
but
works.
Deleting it and reinstalling works every time.
Thank you. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Okay. Any other questions? Any other feedback? There's cookies waiting for you. Hello, Mr. Roger. How can I help you?
I want to reinforce what one of the ladies said over here about having the owners and/or the service staff come here, the
Okay.
corporate service staff. Because one of the things I learned after being here for a few amongst the staff, the out-of-state people
Mhm.
identify what they think are problems, and then they also create what they think are solutions without talking to us. And we've got a lot of good people here who know about construction, know about all kinds of things. And they ought to come to us and say, hey, this is what we think the problem is, and this is what we think the solution is. What do you think? Because we pay for it.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna keep driving that home, that we pay for this.
Yes, sir.
that we don't-
Absolutely.
You know, we don't really have a chance to participate.
Well, and I think there are outlets for that participation. I know that's working with the board and working with Chris and various, but I will most certainly.
But Lindsay, the real key is working with the people who make the final decision.
Absolutely.
That's important for us.
Absolutely. Yes, sir, I will relay that.
I have a question, please. I'm a frequent walker around the building. I'm over here.
Oh, yes.
And when we moved in, we were told that there would be a pathway created for safety. And honestly, the other night, unusual that I'm out too late, but it was around 10 o'clock, and someone was walking, which is fine, they had the right to do that, but they happily were near a stop sign. And I was coming at the usual 10 miles an hour, but neither one of us saw each other. And I easily could have hit that wonderful red. I don't even know who it was.
Okay.
But it scared me. I went to the front desk. The security guard was there, and I reported it. I'm very, really seriously concerned about the lack of a place to walk in this beautiful campus. Thank you.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. Obviously, we've been here for quite some time, so I am working on a solution for that. There has been discussions about past solutions, and there's a little bit up in the air as to whether that is finalized. So I want to get the rest of the information before I am clear about the direction we're taking on that. But we do recognize the need for a walking path, and I don't know why we've been here 30 years without one, but we can most certainly work on that process moving forward. Any other feedback or questions? Yes, sir.
Just when will the new town hall be ready for us to use?
I wish I knew.
Okay, so it's like months?
We've been told about a month additional. I laugh too. Yep. I'm just kind of at the mercy of the fire marshal who's now not responding to us. So we are hoping about another month. We foresee about another month. Any other questions?
Is there any news on the 5th floor, doing it, painting it?
No, ma'am, not thus far. Oh, watch out for that.
Lindsay, is there anything that you can do to stop the parking on the road at the north building?
I don't know how to answer that. Stop the parking on where? What part?
On the road towards the north gate.
Ah,
It's
okay.
the only place on campus that people park on the road,
Okay.
and particularly left wheel to the curb is a traffic violation to begin with, but the road is not intended to be parking, and it seems kind of odd that the only parking problem that exists during the day is right there.
It's employees.
We can most certainly work on that. It does seem to be a little bit of an issue.
One thing that Building and Grounds is working on, we got a subcommittee working on a parking study to find out, other than the fact that everybody wants to park by the front door, where they could park and still not in conflict with the residents, either whether it's covered or uncovered. So we're looking into that, and hopefully, I've been told that's climbing a steep mountain to get that solved, but we hope that'll help. If we can tell you can park over here, and that's it.
Well, and from my understanding, because of all of the construction and renovation and restoration, there's a lot of parking issues from all of the visitors. So that continues to be something we work on with them.
Lindsay, I hope that all the things on the punch list, other than the fire marshals and fire panel and the sprinklers in the breezeway and so forth, are all done. It seems that days go by that very few trucks are out there. And I see, I know that they have to change the gully between the P building and the town hall. They have to raise up the drain. I hope that, I don't know why those things are not being done. I hope that all the punch list is done soon and we can see progress so that there's no surprises at the end that, oh, wait, we finally have our fire panel, we finally have our sprinklers, but there's a few things we have to do yet. So why can't we, hopefully we can do it, go ahead and get those things done prior to that. Thank you.
Absolutely, that is most certainly the plan. They are working in tandem on a couple different things, the telecommunications and the punch list being one of those. And some of that is stuff that I didn't even know. We've actually looked into as far as, what goes here? Is it a TV or is it something? So those are items that you might not even realize are being handled, but they do have the punch list and they are working on it.
Jim?
Yes, sir.
As someone who walks 5 or 6 days a week, and I'm young enough and quick enough to dodge out of the way of these speeding cars, but both residents and workers are speeding quite frequently. There needs to be some accountability or some system to ticket these people, give them a warning, but let them know it's not okay to speed when there are people out there walking.
I agree, and that's definitely something, obviously, with me, my short tenure here is something that I have to fully investigate what our process has been, what have we stopped doing, what are we currently doing, and what can we do moving forward to where we can address that.
Time to get the radar gun out.
We do have one.
Yes, we do. We do have a radar gun, as a few residents can contest to.
Any other questions? Any other? Nope. Yes, sir.
I want to say something about you.
Okay.
Turn the camera off.
What you got, Roger?
And I'll leave some things out.
Okay, that's very kind of you.
A week or so ago, and this will give you some insight to how Lindsay thinks, and she's under a lot of pressure. She walked into a hornet's nest, and give her time, at least a couple of months. But
Well, and I didn't promise to solve every problem you've had for 10 years either in just a few months. Let's be very clear about expectations.
you're off to a good start. We were walking from her office through the breezeway on the way to this building because she had a meeting to go to or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, in the middle of it, she stops and she's asking me, well, what are those rusty nails and hooks doing up there? So I explained to her that that's where, the maintenance people hang decoration lamps or lights. And she said, well, I need to talk to someone about that because those rusty nails and hooks need to be replaced or painted. And then we walk a little bit further and we get down here and she stops me and she says, wait, I got to take a picture. Well, the first thing that popped my mind is she was going to take a picture of me. That didn't work.
I stuck one in, Roger.
Okay. Well, what really happened is she turned, don't you see that spider web up there? And I said, well, yeah, well, so what? It's a spider web. Well, I want to take a picture of it and have it cleaned up. So she's kind of like a detail person walking around. So be careful when you're around her because she may want to detail you. Did you really take that picture? Did you give it to her?
I did.
Okay.
I did,
And
yes.
the spider web's gone.
So that is unfortunately for my plant ops team. But fortunately, before I was in even senior housing, I was in luxury apartments for many years, and I had a boss that would purposely unhook light bulbs to see if we noticed them. So that kind of training has been ingrained in me. I do notice the nails and the touch-up paint and the spider webs and those kind of things. And those are most certainly something that Darwin has been very pleased with working with me on. So we do have painters out, not because we have visitors. That's not my philosophy. This is your home. We always want it to look nice. But those are something that I've always done at my communities. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I'm trying to be understanding and patient, but there's lots I would like to do.
Lindsay, I just want to say you are a breath of fresh air to this community, something we've needed for a very long time.
Well, thank you. Anything else? Your cookies are getting cold. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. We'll see you this week, but if you need me, just knock on my door, call. I'll be in my office working on my PowerPoint. Thank you. Have a